couple of years ago, I spent quite a few weeks and a lot of time and effort ripping all my hundreds of CDs and putting them into iTunes. That enabled me to put the CDs themselves up in the loft in a big bin bag. But the problem is I've never really played any of them since. Even though I've only got a few vinyl records, I'm much more likely to put one of those on than one of those hundreds of CDs that I ripped to MP3s. They're all stored on a hard drive which is kept under the stairs. That's attached up to a Mac Mini which is on 24/7. So I should really be able to play these back very easily. In fact, I've got that linked up to the existing hi-fi setup. Back here I've got a Sonos which enables me to stream the music from that hard drive through the Mac Mini to this and play it back through the hi-fi, but I just don't like doing that. I'll show you why. This is the app. You've got to get your phone out or whatever it is, unlock it of course, load the app up for the Sonos thing, wait for that to load, pick an album. I'll just show you how long it takes. By the way, there's a lot of album art missing here. You'll see it popping in a minute, but there's still lots of gaps. And there was some album art missing in iTunes. That vanished a couple of years ago. I don't know what happened. I used to have a picture for every single album, but that was annoying when it started disappearing for some reason. Anyway, wait for it to pop up here so we can see what we're actually looking at. There you go. There's a few pictures popping in, but not really as many as were in iTunes. So we'll try and pick an album here to play back. Let's pick that one. And we'll play back a particular track on it. So we'll select a track, press play, and I think we have to OK that, and that's it. So look how long that was. I know it's not the longest thing in the world, but it's just no fun. I much prefer mechanical buttons where you press play to play, you press pause to pause, or stop or skip. Actual mechanical physical buttons. Maybe I'm old-fashioned. Now, Sonos used to do physical controllers for their device, although they pretty much discontinued both of these now and moved over to the app-based system. But to be honest, I'm a little bit over the Sonos. It's not quite doing what I want. I'll lay out what I do want. The requirements I've got are for a physical device, a device with actual proper buttons on it. It's got to use my existing MP3 library that I spent all that time ripping those couple of years or so ago. It's got to show album art and a nice display on the front so I know what I'm playing. I want it a certain width to fit into my hi-fi setup. I'd like brushed aluminium or steel or something like that to fit in with the other aesthetics. I want it slick, quick, easy to use. And also, I might as well get something that can play these so-called high-res tracks, FLAC and lossless things, if I'm getting something new. So with all those in mind, I picked up this thing. It's a Pioneer NP-01S. The S is for silver. They also do a black one of these, I think. It costs £350 approximately. Let's get it open and have a look at it and see how it performs. So there it is. It looks like it'll be alright. Nice big screen on the front there. We've got the USB socket for it, putting extra files into there, power button, a few controls on the front, actual proper physical controls, and of course it's got that brushed aluminium type setup. Around here on the back we've got audio out, which is what I need to plug it into my hi-fi, analog audio outs. And on top of that, we've got a little controller thing here which links in with another setup that I haven't got, like a Pioneer system or something. We've got optical out there, that's a little stopper, and then on the back here we can put in a network cable. However, I want to use it wirelessly. I don't want to drag a cable across the room, so plug in these or screw in these two aerials, and I can put those flat at the back there as well to keep it out of the way. Now, the instruction booklet really isn't an awful lot of use. There's only a couple of pages in here in English and they don't make much sense, but I think I could probably figure this out. So that's the remote. A lot of buttons on there, really. Plugging my lead here into my existing amp so I can hear this playing back, and we'll switch it on, see what happens. Now, it does take a while to boot up. Maybe it's the first boot or something, but it took a while. There's a lot of flashing lights. I fast-forwarded this a little bit, and that's disappointing, isn't it? Look at the size of the screen. That actual black area on the front, it's not all screen. Some of it is just surround. It's just that little square in the middle. It goes in straight into this menu here as well, iPod/USB. That's the thing on the front. So, reading through the instructions, I have to press a little setup button on that remote control, which is the one just where my thumb is there. So if I press that, get into the setup menu, and then we can set the network up so it can connect up to my existing network. So let's put it on wireless, and it needs to reboot to do that. That's a bit old school, isn't it? Anyway, let it reboot. Right, we're back in, a couple of minutes on in time, and I'll pick up my existing wireless network, which is that one at the top there. Then we've got to enter the password for that, of course, which is a bit laborious. It's an old up, down, and OK kind of cursor job, so I'll skip past that. Right, reboot again. OK, if we must, so we've got to reboot to put those settings in. Anyway, we're there now. Internet radio is now connected. I can now go into that and I can pick an internet radio station. So let's just have a look at that while we're in here. So you can see there aren't many things on screen at once. I've only got 4 items to choose from, but I'm doing it with the remote, up, down and OK basically. A little bit of a egg timer job there, and we're in. So it plays back internet radio, as you can see. Now let's try and get my albums playing back on this. Well, first off, I had a problem with the music server. I was using Plex to serve the music across. It wouldn't work with that. I had to go and get a new piece of server software, Servio I think it's called. That did actually show up then on the Pioneer as an accessible music server. So let's try playing something back through that. And there you go, it is playing, but it's that album art's a little bit small for me. It'd been much nicer if this kind of scrolled with a touch. I thought it might be a touch screen when I was looking at it in the brochure. I didn't really read it, obviously. I'm only using a few buttons on this remote, just in the middle there, around the OK button. All these other ones are just a waste of space. That's if you had like this Pioneer Hi-Fi system, it would control everything. However, I'm just using up, down, left, right, and OK and back, really. Now, controlling it on the device itself, you can see here, with only 4 items on screen at once, it's taking a long time to get through my albums from A to Z. In fact, that Servio software doesn't seem to register properly my music collection, and it's split out any compilations across multiple albums. It's got itself a bit confused. Anyway, let's try and play back a track. We'll try and play back Word Up by Cameo. So we're going to Artist. It's probably the easiest way to do it. Pick C, and then I'll find Cameo. Oh, there they are. I just went past them. Okay, that... The reason I'm picking this is I know it's somewhere in my collection, so hopefully it should be on here. So go down all these, which Cameo feature on. There we go. Word Up album, Word Up single. Okay. You can see that took a while, didn't it? That's not really what I was looking for. That was a much too slow, laborious and unpleasant way to choose a record. It does have an app, so we'll try it with the app. Although, remember, I don't want to use an app. I actually want to use buttons on the device. But look at this. Scrolling, you can't scroll all the way through the thing. You've got to scroll a little bit at a time and then load in the next bit. I think that'll be because it's over Wi-Fi or whatever. It's not it's got to pick a little bit of the collection up bit by bit to be able to get into it. But as you can see here, trying to, again, let's pick a Cameo record just to do the similar thing. It takes a long time to go through this. You've got to pick your letters and, I don't know. This really wasn't what I wanted when I wanted something better than the Sonos. In fact, the Sonos setup pretty much works better than this. And it's cheaper, of course. Remember, this thing costs 350 quid. And the album art doesn't show on it. So, overall, this is not the device for me. Very disappointing. Maybe somebody somewhere would like this if they were stupid, but I'm not. So, I'm going to put it back in the box, send it back, and get something else. And if you want to see what the other thing is, watch part 2 of this video. And the next item is something that's actually pretty impressive. Anyway, that's it for the moment. As always, thanks for watching.